Hi everybody, welcome back, good to see you again. In this tutorial we'll be exporting a 3D model including the animation onto the looking glass portrait. Just to give you a little sample, let me pull the model up onto the screen. There we go. So it's a 6-axis robot including the animation. And this we will be exporting onto the looking glass to create this into a hologram. We have modeled this in Blender, which is a free open source program that you can download from their website. You will need a little piece of software from the Looking Glass Factory website. I'll guide you through the process to download, install it into Blender, and then go through the different parameters that you can set to generate the output. Once you've done that, you can create the animation in full in Blender as well. I'll guide you through that process and then obviously upload it onto the Holoplay Studio software. Quite easy to do, just a few steps you need to understand and then you're ready to go. So without further ado, let's move on. Okay, we're at the software. Now, first thing we want to do is download Blender. Just go to the website, which is blender.org. And once you're there, scroll down a little bit and it gives you the option to download Blender. Click on the download button. It takes you, and let me pull up their full website here for a second. It gives you the option to download as an execute file for Windows. Different operating systems are down here. Just download and install, and it is pretty easy to do. Nothing special about it. So just install it and you're ready to go with Blender. We'll get there in a second. The other thing we want to go and download is from the Looking Glass Portrait Factory. Just to give you the URL, so go to the lookingglassfactory.com and you need to head over to resources, and I'll just pull up their full website. I assume at this point you have an account, otherwise create one, and then you have all the options to download their software. Click on this option, takes you, and I'll just show all of the software, just going through this quickly. The Holoplay service and the studio is what we have looked at in our previous tutorial. This is just the communication between the computer and the Looking Glass portrait. There's a depth recorder, we won't go into detail about that, but the developer tools are the ones that we will be using, and we will be using Blender add-on, and you can use Unity, you can use Unreal or VTK, which is more of scientific and medical data. There is more integration software available. All these you can use to get your data onto the portrait device. But in our case, we want to use the Blender add-on. So we're just gonna click on this. And it says you need the Holoplay Studio with, the Holoplay service, obviously. And you have installed that already, I think. If not, I recommend to do it. And then it says download on GitHub. There you go. Just click on it. Scroll down. There you go. And here you see the option to download the AliceLG. In this case, I have the 2.06 zip version. Just click on it. It gives you the option to download. Save it somewhere useful where we can find it again, because we'll need it in a second. And we're gonna head over to Blender. First thing you want to do is start up Blender, and once you've done that, you're welcomed with their splash screen, and in my case it's the 3.2.0 version. Clicking anywhere in the viewport will make the splash screen go away, and you're left with a default setup, which is the camera, the cube and the light source. We will not be needing that. What we want to do is head over to edit on the left hand side, which is located here. And let me just zoom in on that, which makes it easier to see. Go to edit, go to preferences, and on your left hand side, select the option add-ons. That shows you a full list of add-ons that come with Blender. And you can scroll down if you're interested. You can activate all of them by clicking on the little square, just tick box, and then they are activated. The Alice software is not packed with the default release, so we need to go to install option on the top. Find the Alice software. I saved it in my downloads folder, which is located here. Click on the AliceLG add-on. It is the zip file that we need. And then click on install add-on. And that brings you right back to the add-ons menu with the software. If you cannot find it or you're not taken back directly, go to the magnifying glass, type in Alice or part of that word, and there you go. Make sure that the checkbox is selected, and if you're interested, check the information below. And that's all there is to it to install the Alice software. I did encounter a small problem at my end when I installed it, and I'm just gonna pull that up for a second. It told me that I was missing some dependencies on the Python software, but the only thing I had to do was click on the install dependencies button, which was quite big and large, and it just gave me an update. Everything is fine. The only thing I had to do was close the program and start up again. So that should be no problem. But once you installed it, your screen will look something similar like this. All the way on the bottom, I recommend to save your preferences or have auto save preferences turned on. Then click on the little X on the top and your Alice software is installed. The question now is, where is it located so I can use it? It's located within the tabs on the right hand side. And what you need to do is press the N button to pull up all the different tabs that are there. I have a bunch of them because I got some additional add-ons installed. But all the way on the bottom is your Looking Glass add-on. And if I just zoom in on that a little bit, you click on the Looking Glass tab. And there you go, all the options that are available to generate something for the Looking Glass portrait are here. It's grayed out at the moment because I have no camera selected and no portrait device connected. And that's something we can do right now. We are in the Looking Glass tab, and the first thing we notice, obviously there is no Looking Glass found, not connected. And this is the first thing we have to do. Well, you want to hook up your Looking Glass device like shown in the image, plug in the HDMI cable in your Looking Glass portrait and into your computer, plug in the USB-C in your Looking Glass and in your computer, and we'll do the same thing right now. We have our Looking Glass connected to the computer, and the setup should look something, let me just pull this up onto the screen, like this, where your Looking Glass shows the logo of the Looking Glass factory. Moving your mouse over it will turn into a little closing icon. Pressing on it enables your Looking Glass to be your second screen. Very tiny, but still your second screen. What we like to do next is just getting the default scene of Blender into our Looking Glass. Then let me just move this out of the way. So we have started Blender. We press the N button, opening up all the tabs on the side. And we will select the Looking Glass tab. And let me just zoom in here for a minute. The Looking Glass has been detected, so that is working. The first thing that we want to do is we want to select a camera. And the camera is here under Camera Setup. As you can see, this is empty for the moment. And we want to take the eyedropper and select a camera. So let me just zoom out. So what I want to do is select the eyedropper, move over to the camera which is available, clicking on it. And that generates a field of view which relates to the Looking Glass portrait. Notice that this image does not include the default cube yet. So if you were to render this out, and I'll just show you for a second, you will see a very grayish image, which you might mistake for your looking glass not working, but it's looking into a gray area. And let me just get this out of the way. What you want to do is make sure that your clip start and clip end are set that they are fully enclosing the object you want to see. So going out of here again, then I say clip end should be all the way over the default cube. Your clip start should do the same thing. There we go. And I'm changing my focal view just for fun a little bit in the middle. And as you can see now, my object is inside. So now when I render this out, I should be able to see the default cube. The way to do it is we are moving back to the tab again. You see a little square icon on the right hand side. Clicking on it enables the light view window. It takes a second for it to open up. And you can see it here on the bottom. Change the refresh mode to manual, otherwise it keeps on refreshing all the time and that may disrupt your workflow very, very much. And then change the preview to low resolution preview. I have no idea why by default it's on no preview, but it took me a little bit to find that out. Change it to low resolution preview, and once you press the button here for refresh, you should get an image very similar to the one I'm showing now on the screen, which is the default cube inside of the portrait. Not a very exciting image for the moment, but we can change that by looking at the robot, which I will load onto Blender right now.